Hello dear students. So last class we have discussed about applications of total internal reflection. So those are nothing but optical fibers works on the principle of total internal reflection, total reflecting prisms on the basis of TIR, and formation of mirage in case of hot deserts. So here you just make a small correction. It is not N1 greater than N2, it is N1 less than N2, because the condition for a total internal reflection is light must tends to travel from denser to rarer. This one denser, rarer, denser, rarer. N1 less than N2, N2 less than N3, or N3 is greater than N2, N2 is greater than N1. Denser, rarer, denser, rarer, like this. But today I am going to start another concept, that is a refraction through prism. So here refraction through prism, we know that refraction, already we have discussed this refraction concept in our last class. Now refraction through prism. Prism is nothing but it is a homogeneous optical medium. Refraction through prism. So prism is nothing but a homogeneous optical medium. So homo means same, uniform density. So this prism is made up of 3 rectangular faces and 2 triangular faces. For example, you just observe this one like this. So this is like a prism. It is made up of 2 rectangular faces, one rectangular face, another rectangular face, base, another rectangular face. So it is made up of 3 rectangular faces, 1, 2, 3, and 2 triangular faces, first one, second one. 3 rectangular faces and 2 triangular faces. Among these 3 rectangular faces, these 2 faces are well polished. These 2 faces are well polished. And these 2 faces are known as refracting faces of the prism. These 2 faces are known as refracting faces of the prism. And unpolished rectangular surface is known as base of the prism. So this is known as base of the prism. And these 2 refracting faces, so these 2 refracting faces are joined along a line. So they are going to meet along a line. This is known as a refracting edge of the prism. So this is known as a refracting edge of the prism. The angle between 2 refracting faces of the prism, this one, the angle between 2 refracting faces of the prism is known as angle of the prism, or you can say refracting angle of the prism, because this angle is between 2 refracting faces. refraction through prism. So it is a homogeneous optical medium. So let us consider the front view of the prism. So this is the front view of the prism. 1, 2, 3. 3 rectangular faces, 1 back side, another one, 2 triangular faces. These 2 faces are known as refracting faces of the prism. The angle between these 2 refracting faces is known as angle of the prism, and it is represented by capital A. These 2 rectangular faces are well polished, and unpolished rectangular face is known as base of the prism. So this shaded part represents base of the prism. And these 2 refracting faces are going to meet along a line, and that line is known as a refracting edge of the prism. The cross-sectional area which is perpendicular to the refracting edge, that is known as principal section of the prism. The cross-sectional area perpendicular to the refracting edge. See here, this is the cross-sectional area. Now angle between this cross-sectional area and the refracting edge, the angle between the cross-sectional area and refracting edge, this angle is equal to 90 degree. So this plane is perpendicular to this refracting edge, and hence this plane is known as principal section of the prism. The cross-sectional plane which is perpendicular to the refracting edge, that is known as principal section of the prism. So let us consider the refraction of light through prism. So in this case we are going to derive one of the important derivation, that is refractive index of material of the prism in terms of angle of the prism and angle of deviation. A refractive index of a prism in terms of angle of prism and angle of deviation. A refractive index, it is represented by small n. Angle of the prism, it is represented by capital A. So relation between refractive index, angle of the prism and angle of deviation. So let us consider a prism, that is a front view of the prism. So this is the front view of the prism. Angle between two refracting faces is known as angle of the prism, capital A. So this is known as base of the prism. Refracting faces, base. So let us consider a light ray passing through this optical medium. Incident light ray, direction of incident light ray, normal at the point of incidence, normal at the point of incidence, rarer to denser, it bends towards the normal, direction of refracted light ray, again normal at the point of incidence, normal at the point of incidence, then light ray from denser to rarer, it bends away from the normal, direction of emergent light ray. Let us say X, Y, Z be the principal section of the prism. So principal section means this X, Y, Z plane is perpendicular to the refracting edge. AB, or you can consider PQ, incident light ray, QR, refracted light ray, RS, emergent light ray. At this point, angle between incident light ray and normal, this angle is known as angle of incidence and it is represented by I1. Let us say I1 be the angle of incidence. Angle between refracted light ray and normal, this angle is known as angle of refraction. Let us say R1. Now from denser to rarer, it bends away from the normal. Now incident light ray in denser medium, let us say this angle of incidence is R2 and this angle is I2. For our convenience, I am going to consider I1, R1 on first phase, I2, R2 on second phase. Okay. Now actual path of incident light ray in the absence of this prism. You just imagine yourself, if there is no prism, then light travel along the straight line without any deviation. Then actual path of the prism. So consider the actual path of the prism in the absence of, actual path of the incident light ray in the absence of the prism. So this is the actual path of the incident light ray in the absence of a prism. Now from denser to rarer, actual path of incident light ray in the absence of prism. Actual path of incident light ray. This is the actual path of incident light ray. So we know that angle between a refracted light ray and actual path of incident light ray. This angle is known as angle of deviation. Let us say this angle is D1. Angle between incident light ray and a refracted light ray, this angle is known as angle of deviation, that is D2. Here D1, here D2. The total deviation is given by, so this is the total deviation, this is equal to D is equal to D1 plus D2. So this is the total deviation. See here, already I told to you people, except air or vacuum, in any other optical media, light undergoes dispersion. But in this ray diagram, we are not representing a dispersion of light. If you are going to consider dispersion of light, in this case, it is quite difficult to derive the expression. For that reason, I am going to consider monochromatic light. So monochromatic means single wavelength, single frequency or single color. One incident light ray, one refracted light ray, one emergent light ray. If you are going to consider composite light, then we will get 7 refracted light rays. Then it is quite difficult to derive the expression for a refractive index of a prism. Okay, then here this dotted segment represents normal at the point of incidence. I am going to proceed this dotted segment and normal at this point. You just imagine yourself, after producing the normals at the point of incidence, they are going to meet at a point. Let us say that point is N. They are going to meet at this point. Now, brief explanation about this diagram. X, Y, Z. Principal section of the prism of Ri, that is refractive index N. So here we don't know refractive index of the prism. Let us say N be the refractive index of this prism. PQ QR and RS. Are incident ray refracted ray and emergent light. Respectively. Then I1 R1. I1 and R1, angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Refraction at Q respectively. R2 I2, R2 and I2. Angle of incidence here in this direction. For this interface, PQ is incident light ray, QR refracted light ray. For this interface, QR is incident ray, RS is a refracted light ray. Therefore, R2 is angle of incidence and I2 angle of refraction at R respectively. Then D is equal to D1 plus D2 total deviation. And here angle between two refracting faces of the prism, this angle is known as angle of the prism, that is capital A. So here capital A angle of the prism. Okay. Applying Snell's law at this point. So we can apply Snell's law at the point of incidence. Here Q represents point of incidence. So here refractive index of this material of the prism is N. According to our assumption, refractive index of this prism is N. Let us say surrounding medium is air. We know that refractive index of air is 1. According to our assumption, refractive index of this medium is N. Then applying Snell's law at this point, that is the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, that ratio gives a refractive index of the medium at which we can observe change in path. So here clearly we can observe change in path in this denser medium, in this prism. Therefore, while applying that Snell's law at this point, we will get a refractive index of the prism. Applying Snell's law, at Q, N is equal to sine I1 divided by sine R1. Sine I1 divided by sine R1. So let us say equation number 1. Then from the quadrilateral, you just observe the diagram, quadrilateral XQNR. From this quadrilateral XQNR, sum of the opposite angles, is equal to 180 degree. Now I am going to consider these two angles, that is A and angle QNR. From the quadrilateral XQNR sum of the opposite angles, angle A plus angle QNR. So these two angles is equal to 180 degree, equation number 2. Okay. Now from the triangle QNR, you just observe, after proceeding these two normals, they are going to meet at this point, and hence we will get a triangle QNR. From this triangle, we know that sum of the three angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degree. That means the total angle in case of this triangle QNR is equal to 180 degree. Sum of these three angles R1 plus R2 plus QNR is equal to 180 degree. From the triangle QNR, R1 plus R2 plus angle QNR is equal to 180 degree, equation number 3. Now you just observe equation number 2 and 3. A R1 plus R2, QNR is equal to 180 degree, QNR is equal to 180 degree. From these two equations we can write R1 plus R2 is equal to A. From 2 and 3. From 2 and 3 we can write A is equal to R1 plus R2, equation number 4. Then we know that total deviation in case of this prism, the total deviation is equal to D1 plus D2, and total deviation is equal to D is equal to D1 plus D2. Now let us observe this diagram. This angle is equal to I1, this angle is R1, this angle is D1. This total angle is equal to R1 plus D1. This total angle is equal to R1 plus D1. R1 plus D1 is equal to I1 because vertically opposite angles. Therefore, we can write I1 is equal to R1 plus D1. I1 is equal to R1 plus D1, and D1 is equal to I1 minus R1. D1 is equal to I1 minus R1. Similarly, here this total angle is I2, this angle is D2, and hence this angle is I2 minus D2. Total angle minus D2, we will get this angle, that is I2 minus D2. I2 minus D2 and R2 are vertically opposite angles, and hence we can write R2 is equal to I2 minus D2. So here R2 is equal to I2 minus D2. D2 is equal to I2 minus R2. D2 is equal to I2 minus R2. And hence in the place of D1 and D2 we can write D is equal to D1. D1 is equal to I1 minus R1. I1 minus R1 plus D2 is equal to I2 minus R2. So rearranging the terms, D1 is equal to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. By considering a negative sign as a common factor, so we can write R1 plus R2. Again solving this one, we will get a previous equation. So we know that R1 plus R2 is equal to angle of the prism. Therefore here D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus angle of the prism, capital A. Equation number 5. Now in case of this prism, when this prism is under a minimum deviation condition, see here, when a light ray tends to travel from rarer to denser, it bends. In case of this prism, from rarer to denser, it bends towards the base. If suppose a refractive index of the surrounding medium is greater than a refractive index of material of the prism, it bends towards the base only when refractive index of the surrounding medium is less than a refractive index of material of the prism. That means here surrounding medium is, let us say, air, and this prism is made up of glass. In this condition, a refracted light ray bends towards the base. If suppose surrounding medium is the refractive index of surrounding medium is greater than refractive index of material of the prism, then this refracted light ray bends away from the normal, like this. But under minimum deviation condition, this refracted light ray is parallel to the base. This refracted light ray is parallel to the base. Now what is the meaning of this minimum deviation? So let us consider the graph between deviation and angle of the prism. Deviation, I represents angle of the prism. If you are going to increase the angle of the incidence, it is not angle of the prism, it is angle of incidence. D angle of deviation, I angle of incidence. If you are going to increase the angle of incidence, at first angle of deviation decreases. Again when we are going to increase angle of incidence, then angle of deviation also increases. And hence we will get the graph like this. As angle of incidence increases, angle of deviation at first decreases. Again by increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation increases. So this curve represents variation of deviation with respect to change in angle of incidence. So this point represents minimum deviation. So let us consider here angle of incidence is I1, left to right, and here angle of incidence is equal to I2, right to left. If you are going to place the mirror at this point, and while supplying the light from right to left, when that light hits the mirror, then that light retraces its original path in opposite direction. So that is known as a principle of reversibility of light. So here, either by considering the direction of light left to right or right to left, at this minimum deviation, see here angle of incidence increases at this point. From right to left, increases at this point. I1 is equal to, at this point I1 is equal to I2. When I1 is equal to I2, then the prism is under minimum deviation condition. A minimum deviation condition means this refracted light ray is parallel to the prism. So here this minimum deviation is represented by capital D. Both are same, D. Here D deviation, particularly capital D represents minimum deviation. So while deriving this equation, you should plot this graph also along with this ray diagram. Therefore, under minimum deviation, I1 is equal to I2 and I1 is equal to I2 and R1 is also equal to R2. Try to understand this concept. I1 is equal to I2, R1 is equal to R2, not I1 equal to R1, not I1 equal to R1. Rarer to denser, light ray bends towards the normal. Therefore, relation between I1 and R1 is less than I1. R1 is less than I1. Here relation between I2 and R2, denser to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. Therefore, I2 is greater than R2. I2 is greater than R2, and hence we will get I2 minus R2. Here it bends towards the normal, R1 is less than I1, therefore I1 minus R1, D1 is equal to I1 minus R1, D2 is equal to I2 minus R2. Therefore, here I1 is equal to R2 and R1 is equal to R2, but I1 is greater than R1 and I2 is greater than R2. If I1 is equal to I2, then we can write R1 is equal to R2 and small d is equal to capital D. Equation 4 becomes instead of R2 I am going to consider R1, or you can consider instead of R1 you can write R2. Then you should write this equation as sin I2 divided by sin R2. Then A is equal to R1 plus R2 to R1, then R1 is equal to A by 2. And 5 becomes, equation 5 becomes I1 is equal to I2, therefore D equal to capital D, 2I1 minus A. I1 is equal to A plus D divided by 2. Equation number 6, equation number 7. From 6 and 7, substitute the equation number 6 and 7 in equation number 1. Put 6, 7, put equation 6 and 7 in 1. We will get n is equal to sin I1. I1 is equal to A plus D divided by 2 whole divided by sin R1. R1 is equal to A by 2. So this is the expression for refractive index of material of the prism in terms of angle of the prism and angle of minimum deviation. In general, small d represents deviation and capital D represents minimum deviation. So this is the case when light ray tends to travel from rarer to denser. So rarer to denser, it bends towards the normal, and hence here surrounding medium is air, and here according to our assumption refractive index of this medium is n. Rarer to denser, it bends towards the normal, and hence applying Snell's law at this point, that gives a refractive index of this prism, and that refractive index is n. So in your examination they are going to frame a question by giving angle of the prism and angle of deviation, then we can calculate refractive index of material of the prism. If suppose surrounding medium is other than air or vacuum, instead of air or vacuum, then how to calculate the refractive index of material of the prism? In some instant they are going to frame a question when a glass prism is immersed in water of refractive index something. During that instant, how to calculate the refractive index of material of the prism? So this is the case when the surrounding medium is air or vacuum. That is, n is absolute refractive index. The refractive index of material of the prism with respect to air or vacuum. For other than air or vacuum, So absolute refractive index. If surrounding medium is other than air or vacuum. Let us say refractive index of surrounding medium is N1, refractive index of material of the prism is N2. Then N21, see here, refractive index of surrounding medium is N1, refractive index of prism is N2. Now applying Snell's law at this point, that ratio gives a refractive index of the second medium, because change in path of light occurs in second medium. Therefore, N21, this 2 represents change in path of light. The change in path of light occurs in second medium. Even in case of air prism, it bends towards the normal. If suppose surrounding medium is other than air or vacuum, having refractive index greater than the refractive index of material of the prism, then this refracted light bends away from the base, even though in this case change in path of light occurs in second medium. Therefore, in both the cases change in path of light occurs in second medium. Therefore, in case of relative refractive index, N21 is equal to sin A plus D by 2 whole divided by sin A by 2. We know that relation between absolute refractive index and relative refractive index, N21. So N21 is equal to N2 divided by N1. This is equal to sin A plus D divided by 2 whole divided by sin A by 2. When surrounding medium is other than air or vacuum, by substituting refractive indices of those two media, so we can calculate angle of the prism or angle of deviation. So this is a relative refractive index, absolute refractive index, and relative RI, refractive index of one medium with respect to another medium.